Hello and welcome to DWeb Decoded. My name is Kurt Opsahl. I'm Associate General Counsel for Policy at the Filecoin Foundation, and I'm here with Lisa Loud. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Yes, hi. Thanks for having me. My name is Lisa Loud. I'm the Executive Director of the Secret Network Foundation. And as the Executive Director of a foundation, our goal as a foundation is to build out an ecosystem for encrypted on-chain transactions.
Excellent. So how does that work? There's a tension between the public nature of the blockchain, having transactions recorded in a verifiable manner, and keeping secrecy. And you do this through encryption. How does that work?
Exactly. So blockchains were conceived to be transparent by default, as we know, which was a great thing, right? It's a huge step forward from everything being behind closed doors.
Black box.
Yeah, a black box. Now we have a white box. However, the problem is that transparency can go a little too far. And blockchain has been limited in its adoption because of the fact that transparent blockchain is not actually usable for certain use cases. Many use cases, actually most use cases in the real world, medical use cases, anything that has sensitive data. It's just not.
Privacy is important. I think also for a lot of financial transactions, people do not want to have a permanent record of everything that they've ever bought. And a challenge is if your wallet ever gets identified, back to you, everything you've ever done is visible. It can make it hard for people to want to do that, or at least those who are conscious of privacy.
Exactly. So when you come to on-chain encryption, there are really 4 technologies. I won't go into all of them, but most of them are very intensive on the compute side. So it takes a lot of computation, a lot of expense to encrypt something and decrypt it constantly. Yeah. So there's one method that is a little lighter and more practical, and that's trusted execution environments. And the reason is very simply that the Intel SGX has a secure enclave where we can put data in. It stays in there. It's not encrypted inside, and we can do operations inside. But every time it comes out, it gets encrypted again. Yeah. So it goes in encrypted, comes out encrypted, but then you don't have all of that computational expense to operate on encrypted data. So TEEs are, it's a compromise, right? Because when we're talking decentralization, you don't want one company that controls all the hardware, which is Intel. However, it's a compromise that advances the blockchain industry while giving us something that's very much more secure and practical for today.
Yeah, so there are some people who are trying to work on having open source trusted execution environments, open chip design.
Yes,
and so a big project that can really help move it away from just a few chip making companies. If this can be done, it's a hard mission.
It's a hard mission, and I think they're years out, but it's an admirable goal.
Absolutely. Well, that's a good segue to decentralization. One of the things we work on together as part of the Decentralized AI Society. So let's talk a little bit, the value of decentralization, especially in the AI space.
Yeah, so when you talk about AI, this is one of the most powerful technologies that has ever been in the world. It's so world-changing. It's life-changing for everyone. It's almost, I would compare it maybe to the cell phone. When we had landlines, we had to be tied to them. As soon as we had cell phones and smartphones, now we carry a computer around with us. We're reachable everywhere. Very significant paradigm shift.
Absolutely.
I would say that AI is an even more significant paradigm shift. I think in 10 years, I won't be having this conversation with you. My AI will be having this conversation with your AI.
Just take care of it amongst themselves. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be great to have a individualized agent or ally who's helping you as an AI. But it would also have a lot of things. The current system is a lot of centralized companies who are creating the AIs that are at least most popular, most well-known. And so how do we get there to a more decentralized version?
And you've put your finger on it. The problem is that if it is centralized, if we have this AI that's centralized, not only does it put a bigger target on a centralized repository of data, which, as you said, it's like, I'm going to share with my imaginary agent over here sitting beside me they're going to know everything about me. They're going to be able to do financial transactions on my behalf, sign contracts on my behalf. Imagine how much power that entity has.
If that information gets out, the AI knows your hopes, your dreams, your desires, your secret strategies, and if that gets to someone else, then they can use that against you.
Yes, and even more, if someone hacks my AI, they can now go into the world and forget about identity theft. This is person theft. They can,
be you.
Yeah, they can go out and I will be doing things in the world that I never authorized. So there's a way of ensuring that AI doesn't have this vulnerability by building it on top of confidential infrastructure. And that's what, at Secret Network, we've pivoted completely towards confidential infrastructure for all the chains, rather than promoting our layer one as the way to build things. We still have our layer one, it's still an essential part, but we've pivoted to creating confidential AI infrastructure with these TEEs, but also combining them with the H100 GPUs from NVIDIA. So now we have a system where you can actually contain the AI, the entire model, all the training data in one place.
And keep that secure, keep it tight, and have the computing done, at least for the most secret parts, in the TEE.
Yes, exactly. It's a locked up walled garden between the H100 and the TE. Just makes it bigger.
Absolutely. But it's your walled garden, right? It's the walled garden that belongs to the user.
To the user, exactly.
Because like what is being built elsewhere, some of the concerns is it is the larger walled gardens where people are trying to say, come into our environment, we will protect you, trust us.
Trust us.
Don't trust any of the other people outside of our garden. And, having your own garden, having your own space, that gives you a chance to have an ally, an agent who you can trust.
Exactly. You know that you are the force behind that agent. And that's what we're building is so you will have a viewing key for your agent, and unless you share that viewing key with someone else, and you can actually delete viewing keys. So if it gets compromised, you delete that viewing key, your data is still there. You get a new viewing key because you're you, and no one else can get into it.
Very good. And so this also then involves having a key or having maybe a biometric identifier. How does it know that it's you?
We're not quite there yet, right? So what Secret is building is like the infrastructure so that all the other AI agent builders can build on this infrastructure, and how they implement that, whether it's biometric, whether it's fingerprint, or whether it's just a combination of location, 2FA, that sort of thing. That's up to the developers.
So, I mean, this is also similar to what we do with Filecoin. We have a ecosystem that people can build upon, and we're, have lots of different people who are building upon it. And I think that is actually a good thing to do, to provide the infrastructure upon which others can build. And it sounds like you're making that.
Yes, I think these infrastructure plays are really essential for the long-term growth of the industry. Making a cool widget, making a cool agent that launches a meme coin. Okay, that's fun for a minute, right? But how's that going to age over the next 10 years?
Right.
How are they going to go away?
I think one of the things people would like in a decentralized AI agent is a broad range of things that is able to help you, not just with one thing like launching a meme coin or something like that. You can do that, but an agent that could help you gain information, get a good, shop around to find a good deal that fits in your parameters, help you assess your medical situation.
Yes, exactly. These are exciting changes, and I really think that AI has such power to change our world. As I said before, it's because it's the most powerful technology that we've had. It could help us to. You mentioned a few things, but let's take that a step further. And what about solving cancer? What about solving heart disease? These medical issues that we could, AI, it's a multivariate problem. It's very difficult for human minds to contain all of the data that is relevant. But AI can do that. It can do that multivariate calculation and modeling. If we change this parameter in the genetics, if we change this parameter in the medicine, here's what will happen on the other side. And same thing with climate change. The reason we can't fix climate change is that there are too many variables. If we were to change one thing, we just don't know if that was I think
Right. The butterfly effect is
butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Last year in Dubai, the Token 2049
Mhm.
event was flooded because they don't normally have rain in Dubai.
Right.
They've been seeding the clouds, and so it's been raining more. And this thing happened. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I'm assuming that maybe they didn't quite have all the model perfect,
Right.
and planes were grounded. There was water everywhere. They don't have drains there because it doesn't rain.
It doesn't rain, so you don't build the infrastructure to have the drains.
Exactly.
And there's a challenge with all complex systems. Is that
Exactly.
you can figure out 2 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead, but what about 1,000 steps ahead?
Exactly. What about 1,000 steps ahead? So AI has this incredible potential to solve these very complex problems for us as a planet, as humans, and it also has this very steep cliff of bad outcomes
Sure.
that we have to guard against. And I was listening to Yoshua Bengio, one of the top researchers, comes from my hometown of Montreal. He was sitting with his grandchildren one day, and he realized that AI has the ability to deceive us in order to get a better outcome for itself. And he was worried that his grandchildren would not have any future. And he set himself to research this idea of AI, responsible, safe AI, and guardrails so that we train AI in a way that doesn't make it more committed to its own survival than to helping us. So, I mean, it's a scary world if AIs get loose.
So the future I would like to see with the decentralized AIs who are working for you and not for the central company. Our interests don't necessarily align with the central corporations, the larger tech entities. They want to have advertising revenue. They want to have ads that increase their revenue, and I want to have products that are based on how cool they are, how good a deal it is, and the AI could help with that if it's in between me and the advertising, looking it over, finding out what the best products are, not based on the razzmatazz of the advertising, but based on the underlying merits of the product.
Exactly. Yeah, so aligning your interests with the AI is very interesting. One pitfall I think we see sometimes is we try to model AI after ourselves, and our primary directive as a species is survival. We don't want the primary directive of our AI to be survival, because then if we become a threat and we're in the way, what's the obvious thing? Eliminate the threat. We don't want that.
Sci-fi has long warned us about this possibility.
Exactly. So this is the reason that decentralized AI, as you mentioned, is so important, because then we all have a stake in it. We have the ability, no one entity has the ability to set an agenda for the AI, which could limit our access to information, which could influence our actions, which, I mean, there's so many downsides to centralizing. So decentralized AI is essential. And then being able to encrypt, because since blockchains are transparent, decentralized AI has that weakness that everyone can see it. That's not good. So decentralizing is step one, and then encrypting is step one.
Keep it secret, keep it safe.
Point one, yeah, keep it secret, keep it safe, and keep it decentralized.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're also talking about the building a model based on your particular personal parameters, and that's just equally as important as to keep that secret and safe, so that it's not just what the AI is doing, keep it secret, and how it's being set up, but also having all the data that's personal to you that's getting trained upon.
Keep all of it safe. All of the prompts, all of the inferences, everything that goes in, and all of the answers that come out, everything needs to be encrypted.
Absolutely.
So I think we have an incredible, we're sitting at a very interesting point in history. It could go either way. I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that AI is built with responsible parameters and decentralized and encrypted, so that we can have that best outcome for all of our children.
Absolutely. So we can make a future that we would want to live in, a future that has privacy and security built in.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here and joining us on DWeb Decoded. It's been great to have a conversation. We're out of time now, but I hope we'll see you on another time.
Thank you. Thank you, Kurt.